Hi, it's me, Libluini. I know it has been a while. I was a bit lazy with new videos, but I'll try to get into it again. Today, just to start, I'm playing a bit around in the new game Elite Dangerous, a space simulation. I made a couple videos before, but only with text instead of voice, so here I'm starting with my Vulture. Fine ship, can carry 2 large weapon systems, and here I'm ramming the slot of the station instead of getting out. Yeah, it's a nice start here, but luckily finally I get out. So now today I'm showing a bit of fighting. First, of course, I fuck up my boost. That's when you use your engines to get a bit extra speed. So, well, how to start? Well, first off, I use different colors, as you can see. So everything on the radar which is yellow is actually green in normal mode, and everything deep blue is actually red. So enemies will show up deep blue confusingly. But well, if you're playing this game for yourself, you're probably using the normal orange UI colors, so that won't be a problem. So now I'm super cruising to the conflict zone here, right next to the station I was in, and we're testing combat bonds. That's when you fly to a conflict zone, then sign up on one of the conflict parties, and then you shoot the other side and collect money. It's highly dangerous, but if you want to shoot something, then it's kind of neat having a lot of targets close by. In Elite Dangerous, war is good. Here you can see a bit of my... Oh yeah. There are already a lot of lasers flying around. On their contacts, you can see this. Everything in yellow is on our side, because I'm friendly and allied with those factions, so I have to go in my right hand menu, choose faction, and then I have to choose the ones I want to be with. And now suddenly all enemies are blue. Yes, I know it's confusing. If you're playing, then it would be green, of course, because you probably haven't customized your UI like I have. So the kill warrant scanner on my left is completely useless in this fight, since all enemies here are probably rather clean. And on my right side you can see the 2 worst lasers I have as main weapons and point defense. In a small nimble ship like my Vulture, it's nice to have point defense, because if you get missiles in your face, you'll probably be too busy with dodging and waving around wildly and also all this crap. So the point defense are little guns, and they operate automatically and they shoot missiles. There are other things like ECM, electronic countermeasures, but those things you have to shoot out manually. Chaff is good against turrets and stuff instead of missiles. And that's it really. Well, what can I say about fighting? Well, I guess aim and shoot. I'm using gimbaled weapons, that means weapons which can track at least a little bit. Turrets would be even better, but also a lot weaker. And as you can see, we have our first batch of credits. That Cobra is dead. You may notice that there are those 2 bars. First off, new enemy. contact list is nice if you're getting confused with radar. There are many targets on your radar after. So, if you're out of range, then the bars on your right side will be replaced with out of range, logically, right? So, the bars you normally see in that position if you're in range are your capacitor. And every time you shoot, it drains a bit. If you drain all of it, then your weapon overloads and you have to wait. Right on the left there are three vertical bars, and this is the same. You will see when the weapon bars go down, then the capacitor, the vertical bars also go down. You can move so-called pips, those little white points, to make your power distributor move energy faster into one of the three caps. The system capacitor on the left determines how fast your shield reloads and how strong it is. The one in the middle, ENG for engineering, determines your speed, and the right on determines how fast your weapon capacitor reloads. On an armed ship like the Vulture, having a good power distributor is really important, because your power distributor also determines how large your capacitor is. So having a better one not only makes you reload faster, you also have more shots. So this Cobra is also dying now. So next part, shields. Shields are those three concentric rings around your ship. On the left side, the ship I am shooting at, and the right side, my Vulture. If you take hits, then the ring goes down every time about a third of your shield is depleted. If your shield is down, then it takes a while, depending again on your capacitor, how fast it is. The shield will reload and re-establish itself. So this Cobra is shit out of luck. I've blasted most of its hull apart, and its shield will take too long to reload. If I hit 0, then it will explode. Now it's destroyed. Yeah. So now something about my weapons. I prefer burst lasers. A burst laser is a how can I best describe it? Let's say some kind of machine gun version of a laser. Every time you pull the trigger, you shoot not one time, but 3 times really fast. A burst. So every individual burst shot is a bit weaker than a standard impulse laser of the same class. But since you shoot 3 times really fast, this means you are actually a whole lot stronger. Well, the little drawback is, of course, you have to take really careful aim, because since you're not shooting 1 time but 3 times, it can happen that most of your shots miss and you will only dinch your enemy a little bit. But of course you drain your capacitor 3 times, since you've shot 3 times. So if you're just shooting like mad, then you will drain your capacitor in practically 0 times, and you will hit 0 times, and then you will be in trouble, because you have to wait. But if you're a good shot, or in my case use Gimbal's tracking for me, well then you will do a shitload of damage. Look at this eagle here, small little fighter jet, but after a couple hits I've already destroyed his shields, and in the few seconds it took me to mention this, he is already blown apart. Burst lasers are death incarnate for small ships. So let's move around a bit. Galaxy in background, and a nice Earth-like planet. I see we've gotten some hits. Part of our shield is down, and here it is. So, as I've learned playing a bit around in conflict zones, shooting at smaller ships like Eagles can actually be pretty good money if you have a ship like the Vulture. The Vulture is a good ship, but I'm not the best pilot, so I can actually make more money by shooting apart small ships, because it goes pretty damn fast. Of course, I'm also helped by the fact that the Vulture is a really nimble ship, capable of actually winning a turning war with a small fighter like the Eagle. Most other combat ships couldn't do this. In this case I would have to try to get away from the Eagle and then turn around, or the Eagle would simply stay out of range of my weapons forever. So now if you noticed, I got hit again and again, and at this point I'm kind of waffling between shooting the ship before me and shooting the blinking ship on my radar. Blinking means that that's the exact ship which is shooting me at the time. On the other hand, the Eagle is almost dead. Again, a class 3 burst laser just tears those little ships apart. So, 0, that means the ship's practically dead again. Yep, dead. Now of course the other ship has stopped shooting me, but what the hell, still. That's probably the reason I was apparently shooting apart ships in a ring, and when I attacked one of them, they all attacked me and I just didn't notice, because, again, I'm bad. I'm trying to turn with it. You may notice that there is another curved vertical band on the right side of my radar. That's my speed. And the little weird orange trigger on it is my throttle position. As long as I'm staying in this weird orange strip, my speed is practically in a way that I can turn with maximum speed. Really, I should look up a few more English words. My vocabulary is pretty bad. So, of course, I can fly faster and I can fly slower, as I'm demonstrating here. But if I do this, I can't turn as fast, which makes me less maneuverable. Of course, this band, those orange stripes and so on, would actually be blue on your normal interface, so. But that's it really. It's not as if the function changes, just the colors. So again, this is a Python, a rather large ship, heavily armed, and an NPC who is labeled dangerous, which in my case is pretty much what I can't need. One trick to make a lot of money is just staying close to one of the larger ships and wait until your allies have almost destroyed them, and then you attack them with a few shots in the last minute to get the money. Of course, this doesn't work if you're playing together with real humans, but I'm not playing die. So where was I? Yes, I'm not playing space simulation games because I like to be together with people. If I want to be together with more other people, I'm shutting down my computer and go out of the door. Much easier. So. Yes, I should mention for people who don't know. Elite Dangerous is a multiplayer game. You can play in a solo mode, but even then you're still influencing the background simulation, and the background simulation influences you. If I were in so-called open mode, I would be together with other human players who could, of course, let's say, greet me, send me messages, kill me, and I could, of course, try to shoot them or send them messages and so on. We could form so-called rings together, like little squadrons, would be members of friends and groups and all that online jizz. And there's a third mode, group mode. 44k credits. Not bad for a bit of mindlessly shooting around. So in group mode is essentially only you and your friends are online, and that's it. It's practically a solo mode for groups. I myself, I like to do stuff like this here in solo mode, shooting or transporting important stuff. Sometimes I'm also in open mode just for the hell of it, but rarely. There is no reason to take one mode over the other. You can pretty much do whatever you want. I mean, if I'm ever rich enough to just sacrifice dozens of ships like mine, then I'll probably be more in open when I'm fighting, just to see how good I am compared with other human pilots. That's the good thing. If you want to be competitive, you can go into open mode and you suddenly have more than just a couple of computer NPCs fighting you. Or hell, if you're in trouble, maybe someone will actually help you out. Stranger things have happened. So here I was a little bit too fast in my judgment. Sure, my allies are shooting the Python, but they're barely scratching the shields off. And I'm impatient again, so I'm starting to shoot it, hoping my allies will help me stay away from it, and I get chaffed. Which of course doesn't help as much, since the Python is a rather large ship. I just have to get close enough, and Python can neutralize my guns as much as it wants. I can still hit it. Of course, then my cap runs dry and I have to wait for my weapons to recharge. And my shields are offline, even though I rerouted all my energy into them, but that's the Python. And now my hull and armor gets a bit scratched. Python is down to 77%, but a few good hits and I would be into much greater trouble. So now I'm trying to get away and try to give my shields time to reload. Of course some eagle is following me around. Probably the other wing member of the Python. So I'm shooting the ship apart before I'm taking too many hits. Yeah. Now let me shoot you apart, and that's destroyed. Good.
Target destroyed.
So now I have to reorient myself.
Target shields offline.
So I'm targeting the Python and the power plant on the Python, because even with 2 class 3 burst lasers, it's probably a bad idea to just hope that I'm melting my way through the hull faster than the Python's weapon can melt their way through my little fighter.
Target shields
If I can destroy the power plant, then it's completely irrelevant how much hull or armor the Python still has, it will still explode. Because power plants getting ruptured tend to be quite the explodey kind. So now I have to fly closer to it again. And of course it has regenerated most of its shield. Bad luck today. My chosen side is quite bad at actually fighting the enemy, it seems. Practically all larger ships the enemy has here today have gone unscathed, mostly. Well, let's see if we can at least take down this one large ship before getting out. And of course the Python immediately fires upon us. Probably turrets or something. Now again waiting to reload. I'm putting all my pips into weapons to make reload go faster. And then I'm trying to get close and most of those shots, as you can see, are hitting the energy shield. And finally, shields are down. Man, I think with fixed weapons I would go mad. Thank the gods for tracking. Perfect. Now the power plant is almost gone. Yes, destroyed. Now blow up already. Blow up, blow up, blow up. Yes. And that was it. I don't think I can do better than this, than the P-10. Asp Asps are good in the raid because they aren't really that maneuverable, so one-on-one I could probably beat them. But there's still a lot of other ships around and, well, why risk it? Better to fly back and repair and hand in the combat bonds. So now let's see how good I did with this community goal I am doing this for. Community goals in Elite are something where everyone, regardless of mode, can pitch in and help for something. In this case, it was helping one side of this civil war against the so-called Sobek boys. So, now back to the station to hand in the combat bonds and see how the goal is going, and of course so that you can see how the community goal looks, and then I guess I call it for a day. Our trick is now to get close enough and slow enough to drop out of Super Cruise again. Super Cruise is one of the two faster than light modes of transportation you can use. Your frameshift drive engine can either jump directly to another star system or go into this Super Cruise mode where you're essentially warping space and time around you to move fast. So 1.85 megameter, 1000 kilometers around, and now as soon as we're closer to as 1000 kilometers or 1 megameter, and as soon as we are slower than 1000 meters or 1 kilometer per second, we can safely drop out. And now I have to ask nicely so I can dock. And now I can dock, yes. And since I don't have a fancy docking computer or something like that, I have to do this manually. So let's hope that this time I can avoid ramming into the station walls. And into the cage and through the slot. Now to find my pad. Oh, it's already there. I keep forgetting the Vulture may be a heavy fighter, but for a spaceship it's rather small, so it nicely fits even on small landing pads. Now a bit of maneuvering, moving around, using my little positioning thrusters, and nope, too fast. And it's back up, yep, and moving around, and right and backwards a little bit. Perfect. Now I just have to land, and that's it. We're back. Down into the Hansa. Starport services. Ah yes. Repair reload. Apparently I missed a few missiles targeting me. Well, that's the reason right there why I have point defense, because I did not notice those missiles. That could have gone very, very badly. So, bulletin board. Community goals. Stop the Sobek boys. Yep, I'm in the top 70%. Good enough. Good enough. So, and everyone can sign up and do their thing. And that's it. That's it. See you next time. Libluini signs out with this. Oh god, that sounded horrible.